I remember this like it was yesterday, even though I'm 28 now, and it happened when I was 19. It was my sophomore year of college, and I had just signed a lease on a small off-campus apartment with this guy named Eric. He was a quiet, kinda awkward computer science major who I met through a mutual friend. I didn't know him that well, but rent was cheap. I needed a roommate, and he seemed normal enough. At first, everything was fine. The apartment wasn't anything fancy, 2 small bedrooms, 1 bathroom, kitchen, and a little living room. But honestly, it felt like a step up from the dorms. We each kept to ourselves mostly. I had night classes, and Eric worked from home on coding gigs, so we weren't in each other's way. The first weird thing happened about 3 weeks in. I came home one night, and the front door was unlocked. I always made sure to lock it, and Eric was weirdly obsessive about security. He used to check the knobs twice before bed, so seeing it slightly cracked open actually gave me this sinking feeling. I mentioned it to him when he got back from the store later that night, and he barely looked at me, just said, "I probably forgot, my bad," and brushed it off. I wanted to believe him. I figured, okay, maybe he had an off day, but I still locked my bedroom door that night just in case. A few days later, I started noticing other stuff. Random, little things. My shaving razor in the exact wrong spot. An old hoodie I hadn't worn in weeks folded and sitting on my bed. I asked Eric about it, and he stared a little too long before saying, "Dude, I don't even go in your room." So I started telling myself I probably just moved the hoodie and forgot. I mean, we all forget things, right? I didn't want to seem paranoid. Then one night, I woke up around 3 a.m. to what I thought was the sound of the kitchen faucet running. At first, I froze in bed just listening. Our walls were thin, so I always knew when Eric was up gaming or microwaving something. But this was different. The water kept running and running. I finally got up and crept down the hallway. And when I turned the corner, nothing. Kitchen was pitch black. Sink was dry. Nobody there. I stood there for a second in the dark, just trying to hear any kind of movement. Not even floor creaks. I chalked it up to a dream and went back to sleep. But something felt off after that. Eric started acting weird, like staring at me too long during conversations or standing right outside my room when I didn't know he was there. A few times, I walked past the bathroom and caught him just looking at himself in the mirror, not moving, not fixing his hair or brushing his teeth, just standing there, like quietly studying his own face. Then one Saturday, I decided to clean the whole apartment since it was getting messy. I offered to do Eric's laundry while I was at it, even though he usually said no. This time he said yeah, but kind of hesitated, said his hamper was in his closet. I wish I hadn't opened it. Instead of clothes, I found a folded blanket, an opened bag of chips, 2 Coke bottles, and a pair of my socks. There was also a little notebook, and when I opened it, I felt ice in my veins. It had lists of times I usually left the apartment, what I ate, who I talked to on the phone, and then pages that just said, "You leave your door unlocked more often than you think." Over and over again. I dropped everything and left the apartment immediately. I just drove to a friend's place and didn't go back until the next afternoon. When I got there, Eric was gone, like completely gone. Room emptied out, laptop gone, nowhere to be found. I filed a report with campus police, and they helped me get the locks changed. A few days later, I got a knock at the door. It was a detective. He told me they found Eric a few towns over living in an abandoned RV. Inside, they found more notebooks, drawings of me sleeping, pictures of my room taken through the crack in the door. Some of them were from nights I know I locked it. The detective said Eric had been watching me for weeks, probably entering my room while I slept. They called it obsessive fixation and said he had another incident years ago at a boarding school. I never saw him again, but ever since then, I can't sleep without locking my door. And I still think about that night I heard the faucet running, because now I wonder if it wasn't a dream after all. Maybe he was washing his hands.